Good morning, everyone. How y'all doing today? Good morning. Guys, I want to share something with you. This is more like a business inspirational conversation to you. And I know you guys have heard about Tyler Perry and the success that he's had of presenting his studio. And a lot of you may not know this, but he had his studio. He had it ever since he purchased Fort McPherson property back in April. I think it was back in 2015. And you guys, I just want to share this information with you of this article from an article that was written in Atlanta. I think it was the Atlanta Journal-Constitution back then, and it talks about this trials, this whole deal almost didn't happen, and Tyler Perry was going to pull out of it. And I want to share, and I want to say to you guys that this here, because I remember saving this, and when I was so excited when he purchased it, McPherson Army Base. It was a Confederate Army base, and I'm going to show you some more information about that history of that Army base. But right now, I just want to share with you this information here. And it talks about the things that, how much he had faith in God. And I knew that you guys know that he's talked about that. But look at this property. Look at this property here. And this is just a testament of, if he can do it, you can do it too. And we can do it, whatever it is that we want to do. And he said I think he was at the Academy Awards or somewhere. He was in an award show earlier this year, and he says, he's not going to knock on any doors. I'm paraphrasing what he said. He says, I'm not knocking on any doors. He says, I'm building my own. And I think this is just what he's proving. He's put his money where his mouth is, and he's proven to the world that this is what he's been focusing on. But I just want to let you see how stumbling blocks could have gotten in his way of really accomplishing this at this particular place. Now, it wasn't going to stop him from doing what he wanted to do with his studio, but just to show you, don't ever give up, and always have your ducks in a row, your T's, your I's dotted and your T's crossed in everything that you do. And this is why, me being a business coach, this is why I tell you guys, it takes you to foundationally get things together. You just don't, it's like the hardest thing in the world to get some people to see that it's a process and operating an empire. Now, you can just start a mom and pops and willy-nilly and all this stuff, but I just don't recommend that. I recommend you building something that you can leave generational wealth to, building something that you can leave a legacy for, because you have what it takes. And like Tyler said, he's human just like we are, and what he did, it took him years. In 92, he said 30 people came to his first plays. And for up until 98, he said he really didn't have a great turnout. Now, that can be for some of us that are starting our business and growing our businesses, and we just feel like we don't have enough people watching our stuff on social media, or have enough clients right now that we're serving. But just keep on moving, keep on doing what you're doing. It's going to all pay off. If you just focus and give value to people in the world, it will pay off. I promise you that it will pay off. I know it for myself. It will pay off. And I tell myself this same thing that I'm saying to you every day, that it will and it shall pay off one day. But you got to keep moving. And also, he said he saved $12,000 of his money, his income tax and that kind of thing over, to start his plays. And he invested in himself. And that's what I tell a lot of you. We have to invest in ourselves. We can't expect anybody else to invest in us before we invest in ourselves, whether it's time or money, our sacrifices that we make, that we can't be out doing great things, having fun, entertaining when we're trying to build a business. Now if you want to be with the 90%ers, you can do that. It's okay. Do that. Continue on. But If you really want to go to the next level and you really want to do something greater, and you know that you got a call on your life, it's burning, it's a burning desire that you have, you got to put in the work and you got to make it happen. But I just want to share with you some things about this article here, just to show you the proof and some of the things that he had to go through. And now you see the results or the fruits of his labor. Now, okay, it says an area view of Fort McPherson property, and you see that beautiful property there. That's a view. Now here, the Atlanta City Council signed off late Monday, dealing with the film with that. Let me start over here because I'm getting excited about this thing. The Atlanta City Council signed off late Monday on a deal that would allow filmmaker Tyler Perry to turn Fort McPherson into a movie studio. Okay, so he's had this studio for a while, and other other producers and other film directors and that kind of thing, they come at the studio and they do their filming, because Atlanta is, they're trying to make Atlanta one of the ones that they do the production of upcoming films and movies and stuff like that too. Okay, now council members voted 11-1 to support the request by Mayor Kissim Reed to extend a $13 million line of credit, a committed requirement by the U.S. Army, in order to clear up 22 acres of contaminated brownfield on the site in southwest Atlanta, and finalize Tyler Perry's studio purchase of 330 acres of the 488 acres former base. Okay, so you see, he had to go into deals and negotiate. I'm sure he had to meet with them. He had to be in those meetings. He had to talk to them. He was prepared. He probably had his presentation, his proposal together. And I'm sure that he really had his stuff together before he went in there and to talk to anybody regarding of what he wanted to do. And he had negotiating power because he had the funding to do it. Now, with that being said, that doesn't mean that you don't have to, just because you may not have $13 million or the money to be able to make a purchase like this. There are some other things that you can do, and I'm sure they can prepare you to do some great things that you want to do, and it may not even require this extent of a major purchase. Now, let's continue on here. Okay, Reed brought the proposal to the council under time constraints. Okay, see, acting fast kind of situation. In presenting the resolution to council members, the mayor said the deadline for the transaction was April the 30th. The city originally had hoped to finalize the sale last October. Okay, well, that didn't happen. Okay, this deal is getting ready to fall apart because of its time it's taken to get done, Reed said. We are at the moment when we need to close. Okay, guess what Reed said, quoting the mayor. The mayor. The mayor said Perry is being courted by other developers. Okay. Now, with that being said, I feel like, she was thinking, I guess she was looking at trying to get rid of this property. In my thoughts when she said he's been courted by other developers, maybe there may be some other properties that they may, I'm sure that they want to, give him. And I think we'll go down, it's down further. You'll see what I'm talking about. Late last year, Perry was reportedly close to pulling out of Fort McPherson project to focus instead on expanding his studios in Douglas, Georgia, where he already owns more than 1,000 acres. Okay, so that's what they meant by that. So then back in 2014, she's saying that, he's been already introduced in, to some more other properties or whatever. But here again, Tyler had a bigger vision, and God had an even bigger vision. Okay, all right, okay. So let this be some motivation and encouragement for you. Okay, now let's go on and read this a little further here. On Monday, Reed told council members Perry also had expressed interest in the site of the former GM Motors plant in Doraville. Earlier this month, Atlanta Business Chronicles reported the developer, the Intel Group, which acquired the GM site last year, is building film and television production studios on the site of the former auto plant. Okay. We are no longer the only suitor in town, Reed said. If this deal fails, Perry is going to Douglas or Doraville. Okay. The $13 million letter of credit would have no effect on the city's budget, Reed said, adding that if Perry defaults on the project, the land would revert back into the city hands. Okay. Now, so what they're saying in this whole thing right here, Tyler have basically, guess what? He had options, right? He had options. So I guess what they were trying to do is go ahead and get this deal, whatever need to be, whatever little things that need to be negotiated. And see here again, looks like from this article here, Tyler, he had strong negotiating options. Okay, so in other words, don't sound so desperate that you feel like, okay, yeah, this is the only option for me. So, Tyler was letting them know that he had more options. All right. In August, Perry reached an agreement to redevelop the aging Fort McPherson, which the Army closed in 2011, into new and expanded production studios. Perry wants to use the base to expand his studios. This is expanding the studio operations, which currently features 5 sound stages, a post-production facility, and a 400-seat theater in Southwest Atlanta. The McPherson Implementing Local Redevelopment Authority Board, also known as MLRA, is a key player in the project. It would buy the entire base and sell the 330 acres to Perry. The remainder of the base belongs to the city. Now, I haven't looked at the updates or anything, so I don't know whether he has all of it. Now, he may. I just wasn't sure on the how many all the acreage that he had, and I think it may be more than what he's originally purchased. I'm not sure. Because like I said, I remember him talking about it, but I just can't remember the numbers at this moment on. I think it might have been 338. I can't remember. Okay, on Monday, Reed and council members who represent portions of the McPherson property emphasized the importance of not missing an opportunity to revitalize an area that has been languished for years, but has huge economic development potential. Okay, and see, and that's a key right there. Anything, guys, you're doing, if you see any old property, anything, I would advise you to investigate it, check it out, and see how you can come up with a plan to make it come to life. This is what I do too, to help my clients to come up with, if you need a grant, you're doing a grant, if any kind of major proposal, this is what I do. This is my lane. I love this kind of stuff because I almost can pretty much tell, like, he had to get his team together. He had to get everyone together that was going to be a major contribution to, to that project. And then I'm going to tell you another thing, what he probably did. You may not know the behind the scenes things that he's done, but I'm sure he's at these meetings. He's knowing what's going on. He's researching. He's looking at the 5-year plan of the city of Atlanta in areas where he want to develop. See, and this is what he do with his time. He is 365 days in a year, guys. And you got to get out here and get these visions out here in this world. You got to get the money. You got to get this. You got it. But you just don't realize it because nobody really never told you that you can make some things happen. You can be some movers and shakers. You can get you a team together and get some stuff done. I'm telling you, you can do it. You can make a great impact. A lot of you guys got like-minded, ideas. If you guys are, man, it's no. And I think with us, I'm going to say this, within the African American community, we have so much distrust with one another. And I know sometimes people do stuff that can make you not want to even deal with them, period. I get it. I've been there, had it happen to me several times. But at the same time, you must open up your mind and expand your mind to something greater than yourself. You got what it takes. I just think that, we're so distracted. And I ain't going to get into that, but I just want to share that with you. Just want to throw that in. We're talking about a tract of land twice the size of Atlantic City with 2 MARTA stations. Councilman Ivory Lee Young Jr. said. The Councilwoman Felicia Moore, who voted against the resolution, said the council should have spent more time reviewing such an important proposal before approving it. It wasn't on Monday's agenda and was brought in by the mayor with little advance notice. Okay, so from just listening at what she said, I'm saying this person right here, I can't be 100% sure. But see, this is when people talk like this sometimes, they already wanted to throw a monkey wrench in, as they would call it, or they wanted to do something that probably would sometimes you have to bum rush people. That's all I'm gonna say. Sometimes you have to just be 2 or 3 steps ahead of them when it comes down to stuff. You have to move in silence. You have to move in silence. And I tell some of my clients that's doing some great major things that they want to do, and I'm like, keep your mouth closed. Everybody don't need to know your vision. Everybody don't need to know what you're thinking about doing. No one needs to know everything. Only your team and the people you're working with needs to know what's going on. And then you need to let them know in stages and phases. Okay? And that's a conversation for another day. That's a course all in itself. Okay, let's continue on here. Let me read this. I just can't stop on a dime and absorb it all, Moore said. I'm not ready to move where everybody else is. Okay, so this particular person was city councilor. She said she wasn't ready to move. She wasn't ready to make that move. But that's just some of the parts of the article that I wanted to share with you and let you see how you can really strategically move out here in the world, and how this thing played out for Tyler Perry in a great way. And I am so happy for him. I know he's going to do great things. He's already talked about some of the other things that he wanted to do on this particular property. Let me go back up here and just look at all of this property. He want to help girls that's in sex trafficking, slave, and the LGBT community. He want to help them, to just not be, to kind of like help them. A lot of them are being ostracized, and a lot of them are being, because of the way they live, a lot of them are being, labeled and ostracized and outcast and stuff like that. If any of you have ever been outcast, or if any of you have ever been just set aside, I know you know how it feels. So, Tyler, I mean, he's doing great things, and I really, really love what he's out here doing. Now, I want to show you this right here of the headquarters Department of Army, the McPherson, Georgia. The report as of April 1st, 2015, and this is during the time when Tyler Perry was, getting ready to acquire. And I'm sure that this is all the information that he had. And these are some of the things, guys. See, that this stuff like this that you have to get together when you're coming up with your plans to do some things, and to you got to get a report of, if you're looking for a property, this is what I want to show you. You got to give information, history, and different, what was recommended for this Army base. Then just get all of your intelligence, all that you can about the property. Then it shows you. See, these are some of the old pictures and stuff, and this is all done back in April 2015. I'm sure that this is something that was a part of what Tyler Perry probably presented. I'm not 100% sure, But this is, and I've had this for a while. I've had this ever since during that time, 2015, because I remember, because I like to do a lot of reading and research on, up things. And anybody know me, I always love to see the business side of things and how businesses move and shake. And I've been studying business for a long time and been helping clients with their businesses. I love to talk business. I love eat, breathe, sleep. I had an ex relationship or whatever some years back, and he said, you're just so business. Do you ever give it a break? Yeah, I do. I have fun. Yeah, I do. But for the most part, I just really want to hone my craft, and I want to be able to be in the knowing. Just like I tell them, just like you like what you like, I like what I like. And I love being and knowing what's going on in business. And that's why I listen at a variety of things. I like to be well-rounded when it comes down to business, because business is a broad subject, but at the same time, everything has a connector. Like, for instance, the economy has a big connector. Knowing more about the economy has a big connector on jobs creation, job loss, behaviors, what's going on around your community's crime. I mean, how many babies being born, who's, who's ill and who's healthy. All of that has a very important part to play in, the way business works, all in itself. And, how many people, what's your shopping habits? How many people are out there, what's the behavior of people? What's the stats on different things? How many watch TV? How many people like this? How many people like that? And, you got to know what's going on. If you want to be in business, you got to know what's going on. Okay, now, and look at all of the proposed reuse plans. See, this is what I'm talking about, these 5-year plans. And in your county government, they have it on their website. So whatever county you live in, Google your county's 5-year plan. And you can get out of that. You can get a lot of information out of that if you're planning on doing something major, or something that you want to grow or build or help your community out with. That is so important, guys. And see, all of this information here, this is the kind of stuff that I do. You know what? Let me tell y'all something. I love this. I love coming up with this information. I love just making it all come to life. Just separating it and using the information. I got a couple of clients now that I'm working on some things for them, and I love just connecting them with the people, writing the letters for them to find out about the property, writing a letter, writing a proposal for them to get to their next level in what they want to do with their business ideas. And, and I do this for myself too now. Don't get me wrong. Some things that I ain't behind the scene working on. So you got to move in silence a lot of times. And when that time comes, everybody be saying you're overnight success. And no, you're not an overnight success. You just been behind the scenes and you hadn't been talking about it. So here's even a timeline right here, guys, of, key milestones achievement. Here's a timeline. And all of this stuff right here is a part of the Fort McPherson's history. And Tyler he did something great with this property. All this unused property. Now the city don't have it on their hands. Tyler Perry was able to make a deal with them, and they were able to do some great things. And now he's making a difference. And I know some of you have ideas to make a difference. So this right here I wanted to just encourage you, and those are my Google alerts. Keep coming up here on the side if you see them. But like I did a workshop on that too, on how you can have knowing about what's going on and who's out there in the market looking for certain things. But hey, I got a course on that too as well. But I just wanted to let y'all know that's what it was. Keep popping up over there on the side. But okay, but anyway, I just wanted to just give you an overview on some deep dive stuff on about this situation with Tyler Perry. You see, he didn't let nothing deter him. He let nothing stood in his way. He had a plan, guys. I always tell you guys, plan your work and work your plan. And Jeremiah 29:11 says, God knows the plans that he has for you, a plan of success and hope. You know, he has something for you, but you gotta write the vision and make it plain. This is a vision that Tyler had. He wrote it, he made it plain, and look at it. It manifests. I want the same for you. Manifest. Manifestation is what it's about. In order for something to manifest, you got to feel that thing and you got to do something. Now you can have all the feelings in the world, but you got to do the work. Tyler did the work, guys. You can do your work too. Tyler did his, and I'm just so excited just talking about it. He did his work. You can do yours too, whatever it is. So if you need me, reach me at bit.ly/SandyBizCoach. That's bit.ly/SandyBizCoach. Make this thing happen for your life. You come in, you work with me one-on-one, but let me tell you something. You got to invest in yourself. Don't expect me to do the work for you, and don't expect to get something for nothing. Y'all, you need to pull out those credit cards or whatever you have to do and invest in yourself. Instead of going to the mall, buying Christmas gifts and all these kind of sorts of things, get out here and make it happen, guys. You got to make it happen in a strategic way. It ain't going to happen unless you put in the work. It is not going to happen by osmosis. And if you want it bad enough, you will invest in yourself and you'll do what you need to do to make it happen. So once again, I salute. I'm happy for Tyler Perry. Tyler Perry brought it home. He made it happen. Guess what? You can do the same too. All right, guys, have a beautiful morning. And just remember, bit.ly/SandyBizCoach if you need to get your ideas, inventions out there in the world. Make it happen. Make it happen. Tyler did. Look at that. Look at that. Look at God. Look at God. Look at God. Hallelujah. Alrighty. Y'all have a beautiful day.